Welcome to a new video. Today's video is focused on Wu-Tang and American Saga, Season 3, Episode 5, entitled A Better Tomorrow. And the official synopsis of this episode is, following the tour, a few lesser-known Wu-Tang members search for their individual voices amongst the crowd. And before I give out my review, please like the video, dislike the video, subscribe or comment, or just watch this video, keep going on with your day. Episode 5 was another good episode for me, as this episode focuses on 3 different Wu-Tang members, as each of them are going through different struggles and just trying to find that voice, trying to find just some kind of inspiration, motivation to keep going on with this group. And it was definitely interesting. The episode just starts off with You God, as it begins where episode 4 ended off, with him in emotional distress following the shocking news of his son being shot. And now he is just on a hell-rising mission to find out the truth, find out who's the perpetrator, and make some t-shirts, if you know what I mean. He goes to the hospital. His son is in critical condition. It is not looking good at first, but then sometime later, he just finds out from some important people who is responsible, from a guy named Shotty. And Shotty just seems like a hothead. Shotty just seems like someone who would do some things known from his name, Shotty. And the part just continues until it just jumps off. And it just jumps off where it seems like he is going to make that decision that is going to change everything. But when we come back to You God, it just shows him getting a phone call from his son. And his son is going to be okay, but he's going to be in the hospital for a little bit. And You God does not make that hard decision. And honestly, I understand his struggle, that he wants revenge. He wants to get at the person who caused his son to get in the hospital. But if he had made that decision, he would have killed someone, gone back to prison, and possibly received a life sentence or even worse. And as much as hard as that decision was, I think he made the right choice, because he has to be there for his family. He has to be there for his son. And Shotty, maybe he will get Shotty one day, and who knows, but You God visits his son in the hospital. He talks to him. He receives and just thinks about what he did, inspiration, and just continues on with his day in life. And then it jumps to Inspectah Deck. Following the successful tour, everyone is just asking him different questions about his debut. Like, when is it coming out? Are you making new songs? Like, what are you doing? When is your debut coming out? And honestly, it is now starting to get a little bit stressful for him, because he doesn't know when it's coming out, as his original album was lost due to the flood and stuff like that. He then returns to his old hood. He receives some special inspiration, encouragement, motivation from an old friend about what to do. She tells him to maybe write more lyrics, learn new instruments when it comes to making beats and music, and he has that chance of a lifetime when the Wu-Tang Clan is offered a part in a soundtrack for the movie Tales from the Hood. And one night, while being sneaky like a mouse, he decides to sneak into RZA's studio and just figure out what to do. And long story short, he creates a song for the Tales from the Hood soundtrack, although he does give credit to Wu-Tang Clan instead of himself. And I think I see why he did that, so that other members could shine as well too, and knowing that he'll have his own shine as well too eventually. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting for him to do that. Like, he didn't have to, but he still did. It then jumps to Masta Killa, who returns from the tour, seeing family and just seeing old friends. And basically, it just seems like no one really knows that Masta Killa is a rapper, as apparently in his family, he was not gifted with the musical touch, as a lot of people in his family are musical geniuses or are singers, artists, you name it. And then his uncle, in the meanwhile, has been trying to get at him about possibly getting into the taxi business, getting his medallion and stuff like that, until he decides to break it to him that he has been making music with the Wu-Tang Clan. And his uncle his uncle is someone that everyone needs in their lifetime because of just how encouraging and how supportive he seemed with his music and knowing that he was a part of one of his favorite songs. But I think that these three sections were all interesting as they just told us how unique and different each of these characters were and just how they all just found inspiration in different ways. The episode then continues with Power and the new Wu-Wear store with all of the different Wu-Tang material and stuff like that. And every member, with the exception of a few, comes in, stops by, and the three just all just talk about different things, all just make up lyrics for the songs and that kind of stuff. Ghostface, Raekwon come in wearing their own gear and stuff like that. And they just see that the music industry, the hip hop scene is continuing to move forward while the Wu has not made out like no new music and stuff like that. And Raekwon refuses to let that happen. And I guess this is how the next episode is going to start, with episode 6 supposedly going to be like an inspiration from his debut album. And so I can't wait for that. Episode 5 was pretty good. As previously mentioned, I think it does a good job with just telling us these different members how they found inspiration, motivation in different ways, and how some of them don't make dangerous decisions, and how some of them decide to like step out of their comfort zone to try new things. And I can't wait to see what happens next. I think for my predictions, I think episode 6 is going to be another standalone episode with Raekwon and Ghostface about Raekwon's debut album and how he got the inspiration from that. But yeah, that's all I can pretty much say. This was a good episode. Just thank you for watching, and until next time.